Welcome back to the Adam and Sheridan Show podcast. This is episode number 2, airing on May the 7th, I believe.
Possibly.
Yes.
Well, it really depends on how I get my stuff together.
He edits it.
And I'm not good. I thought I could be the teller to your pen for this episode because I was just doing the.
You're
whole
just doing all hand
signals.
Yeah. So we're basically
we should start over, but we won't.
The gist of this show is just going to be us copying more successful people. So get used to it. No, we just
really is.
We just got done recording our radio broadcast. Here we are in the beautiful WRFA Sound Studios, right here.
107.9 FM if you're in Jamestown, WRFALP.com to stream on the internet, WRFALP.wordpress.com. And we are...
I'm Adam Courtwright. This is my co-host...
Sheridan.
You're my co-host, right? Or no, I guess we're just both... We're co-hosts of an entity. Neither one of us is subordinate to the other. Although... No, I'm kidding. Let's get down to it. We've got a lot to talk about. Yeah, what? Death Stairs?
Death Stairs.
Death Stairs.
So we actually do have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
On the show today, we covered Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Greece actually had a one-day general strike, and if you don't know, general strikes are actually outlawed in the United States. They're outlawed in quite a lot of different things, but they did the general strike in Greece with lots of protests around Athens. Athens came to a standstill because the trade unions, mostly for public workers, teachers, doctors, transportation, things like that, are upset about the neoliberal austerity measures. Now, neoliberal austerity measures are a very specific thing. They kind of target public services. They target what are now sadly being called entitlement programs, which is things like Social Security and the safety net, if in case the economy screws you. And
which it normally does.
Overwhelmingly affects the poor because it's got this Reaganomics attitude of, oh, if you give money to the top's just totally going to be like, hey guys, we got a gift for you. It's cash. Here you go.
So what's been going on in Greece today? Today's May the 3rd. This actually happened a couple of days ago.
A few days ago, yeah.
But what's been happening there is not just the workers who were specifically targeted for layoffs and pension cuts and healthcare benefits cuts, but all of the workers in every single sector in Greece, particularly in Athens, went on strike. That's what's known as a general strike, where everyone stops working regardless if they're affected by the austerity measures or not. And the idea is that the entire working class together says, no, we're not going to accept these cuts even though we're not personally affected. We are showing our solidarity with that particular branch of workers, sector of workers, and we're saying, no, we're not going to take it. So that's what we feel is the most successful way to combat austerity.
One of the interesting things, though, is the fact that the protests were very tame compared to the protests that have been in previous general strikes. And they have general strikes every now and again because Greece has been put under the boot of the IMF and the European Central Bank for quite a while. Only a few thousand people attending some of the protests. Now, there were buses running only to get people to and from protests, but all other public transportation was nil. The interesting thing about that is, and we're actually getting most of this information from the World Socialist website, an article that appeared today. The interesting thing is that could show a lack of faith in the trade unionists,
which would be good,
and their striking to bring about actual change, because what they want to do is they want to stop these cuts. And some of their goals are very admirable. Teachers don't want to work 2 hours more a week and not get paid for it. They also don't want to have massive layoffs hung over their heads because they teach children and help them grow.
Right.
That's a good thing. They should be paid for what they do, and they shouldn't have a hostile environment saying you could be fired at any time. But they're not challenging things as they were. They're not actually going against the system and saying, listen, we should possibly look at another way to organize our economy. Mm-hmm. They're just saying, listen, let's keep things good.
So what
which is not good for the majority of people.
What you're hinting at there is they're not trying to fight for socialism, which is workers controlling the means of production rather than it being the means of production being controlled by a small group of capitalists, a small elite. The very people that these workers taking part in the general strike in Greece are fighting against. So rather than having the means of production owned by a few, the idea is to get all of the workers to own all of the means of production in common and to figure out a democratic way to produce goods and to have them distributed among the people of Greece and throughout the world effectively.
And that basically comes down to the idea that no one has created something on their own. Everyone is operating under some sort of use of societal wealth. And that people's lives, and we talked about this, we went over this, and this would be a good way to segue, but people's lives should not come down to money. And this is what's happening in, where'd you say, Denver? Or
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Well, no, I'm sorry, Detroit.
Yeah,
Detroit is where there's a lot of.
There we go.
We like just naming cities. No,
they're all failing. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. And just pick your poison. But no, the city of Detroit, there was a health fair.
Rock City.
Detroit Rock City. Every year there's this health fair where the latest advances in healthcare are shown to the people of the city. Different insurers are there. But what we've been seeing more and more is that people are just showing up to these health fairs just to get care, primary care.
This is a bad thing.
They don't have any money.
Yes.
There's no insurance. Health insurance, of course, as we all know, is just being gutted. Whether you're a private sector worker or a public sector worker, and
even if it's being gutted, if it's being provided by your employer, it's becoming much more expensive. If it's not being provided by your employer, it's completely out of reach because most employers who don't supply health care through your job are employers of people who are working part-time or menial wage labor. Mm-hmm. This is very bad because the companies know that they have you by this one fact. They look at you and say, it's too expensive, huh? That's sad. Do you want to die? I just have that question, do you want to die? No, didn't think so. It's kind of like a racket.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, listen, this is a beautiful store here. It'd be a shame if anything happened to it. You should pay us just a little bit of protection. So insurance, just in case.
Basically, they're all Andrew Cuomo. They're all Governor Cuomo. No, he's like the go-to voice to do a mob guy.
Yes, totally.
Just like,
totally
hey, we're gonna get these guns off the street. Boom, you know, and then boom, like a gun. No, but come on, people.
That was a great impression. That should be like our intro thing.
Soon we're gonna learn how to cut to other media, like maybe
we're gonna learn to. We have 2 cameras now. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, we have 2 cameras.
How's it going? Good to see you.
We have 2 cameras and we can cut between them, but we're eventually going to be able to leave our links. But you should know, if strikes are becoming completely useless, what's an effective form of action to bring about change? Bring about change which is shown very needed by the fact that people are going to a free healthcare expo every year
just
to get care that they should get all the time.
Some of the nurses that were testing these workers in Detroit were saying they were literally one cheeseburger away from a heart attack, or their stroke, or their blood sugar level was so high that they were at risk for diabetes that very moment. People are letting chronic conditions go. They're letting their health go without being checked so long that it might be too late for them. When they do go finally get to a doctor, they might be a case of, hey, you know what, this has gone on too long and we're going to have to, you know, unfortunately amputate your leg or something along those lines. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm noticing here
we
that
should go to this. We should go to this camera because the card is full. We lost the
camera. So we're over here. Hey, how are you? Hi. See, this is what we call doing it on the fly.
Exactly. We don't know what we're doing.
Well, we're done anyways.
Please forgive us. We're done anyways. This has been the Adam and Sheridan Show. I'm Sheridan.
Please, I'm Adam Courtwright. Please leave a comment in the section down below if you want to challenge anything that we've just said here today. Listen to us on WRFA 107.9 and comment on our Facebook page, The Adam and Sheridan Show. Like us on Facebook. And email us, adamandsheridanshow@gmail.com. There's a plethora of ways to get your voice heard. We'll read you on the air if you decide to let us know what you think.
Stay active.
So does that mean the video
Video stopped. That's why I
was
got
too full, too much information?
What? Yeah, too much information.
Okay.
So, oh well, it happens.
Well, yeah, that's no big deal. What we can do is we can cut like before.
We'll cut before. Well, whenever that runs out, we'll switch to camera 2.
Yeah, maybe we can get rid of all of the stuff where we're talking about cutting over to it. Just cut that out somehow. Maybe maybe you could just use like a dissolve to like dissolve from one point that's being made here, and then just dissolve into us looking over here.
We could do cross dissolve. It's that's a tricky one to pull off though. Which we can do it, but
that way you're not like cutting hard and having us look unprofessional by saying we don't know what we're doing, or just all of a sudden we turn over here. But if you have any trouble with it, just let me know, and if we need to reshoot it, and I think it's fine.
no, especially because we don't want to do a reshoot.
Yeah.